Hi guys, happy Wednesday, January 14, 2026. So guess who's falling from power? Our buddy Stevie Miller here, and it's not pretty. So before we get into the specifics of what he said, what he's been doing, and his astrology and his demise, let's listen to what happened. And this clip is being circulated right now on social media and online, but this clip is not from yesterday or the past few days. It's actually from October 24th. 2025. So let's listen to these 2 minutes and go through what he said is wrong, and his astrology and his ultimate demise and when that's going to happen.
Okay, now to the state of Illinois, Stephen. And Governor J.B. Pritzker has talked about interfering with arresting ICE agents in Illinois. Now, it appears the federal government has said if that happens, J.B. Pritzker could be arrested. Let's talk about your willingness and under what federal authority do you arrest a sitting governor? I understand the supremacy clause. I understand interference with a federal officer. Tell me how it works that he would make himself susceptible to being arrested.
Well, the answer I'm about to give doesn't only apply to Governor Pritzker. It applies to any state official, any local official, anybody who's operating in an official capacity who conspires or engages in activity that unlawfully impedes federal law enforcement conducting their duties. So if you engage in a criminal conspiracy to obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws, or to unlawfully order your own police officers or your own officials to try to interfere with ICE officers or even to arrest ICE officers, you're engaged in criminal activity. Different kinds of crimes would apply. There is obstruction of justice. There is harboring illegal aliens. There is impeding the enforcement of our immigration laws. And then as you get up the scale of behavior, you obviously get into seditious conspiracy charges, depending on the conduct, and many other offenses. So again, it depends on the action, it depends on the conduct, it depends on what is taking place. But what we need to reassure a couple points. To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice.
All right, Stephen, before we go, I'd love just to ask you.
Okay, so we heard this is what's been circulating. Okay, so let's just go through it, the details of what he's saying and his astrology. So the key thing is he's a Virgo, just like me, but the key thing is 0 degrees. That's bad, very bad. Let's go through it. Very bad for him.
Stephen Miller, Trump, and the Collapse of Borrowed Power, 2026 to 2028. Law, Authority, Astrology, and the Reckoning of Unelected Power. Stephen Miller, DOB, August 23rd, 1985, Sun, 0 degrees Virgo, critical/world point. Donald Trump, DOB, June 14th, 1946, Gemini Sun, Neptune-driven persona, power through narrative, not institutions. I, the interview, where the line is crossed, 5 to 7 o'clock. In the recirculating interview segment, Stephen Miller asserts that ICE agents have federal immunity. State officials, including governors, may be arrested for interfering with ICE. Such interference could rise to seditious conspiracy. Anyone obstructing ICE commits a felony. These claims represent settled law. These statements are legally false or recklessly misleading. 2. Why these ICE agents have federal immunity. False. ICE agents do not have absolute immunity. At most, they may assert qualified immunity. Qualified immunity applies only if conduct is lawful, the violated right was not clearly established, excessive force, unlawful detention, unconstitutional searches, or shootings void immunity. Key point, immunity is a defense raised later, not a license to act unlawfully. Crossmark Claim 2, anyone who interferes with ICE commits a felony. False. States have constitutional authority to decline participation in federal enforcement, prohibit use of state resources for ICE, enforce state criminal law against federal agents when applicable. This is settled under 10th Amendment. Anti-commandeering doctrine. Prince versus United States. Murphy v. NCAA. Non-cooperation is not equal to obstruction. Crossmark Claim 3. Governors can be arrested for interference. J. B. Pritzker is explicitly threatened. A sitting governor may only be arrested if there is probable cause of a specific federal crime. The conduct is not protected by state authority. Policy disagreement is not equal to conspiracy. State sovereignty is not equal to sedition. Crossmark Claim 4. This could rise to seditious conspiracy. This is the most dangerous distortion. Seditious conspiracy requires agreement to overthrow the U.S. government, or to wage war against it, or to forcibly prevent execution of federal law. A governor setting law enforcement priorities does not qualify. Invoking sedition here is legally indefensible, historically authoritarian, a direct threat to federalism and democracy. 3. Why this matters now, Minnesota context. This clip is resurfacing because of ICE escalation in Minnesota, the killing of Renee Nicole Good, heightened scrutiny of ICE conduct. By falsely claiming immunity, Miller encourages escalation of force, signals protection regardless of conduct, intimidates governors and mayors, undermines lawful oversight. This is how constitutional crises are manufactured. 4. Why Trump gives Miller power, the astro, political dynamic. Trump's chart and governing style emphasize narrative over substance, Gemini. Projection, myth, spectacle, Neptune. Loyalty replacing institutions. Delegation of enforcement to aggressive proxies. Miller fits this perfectly because Virgo governs administration, enforcement, process. 0 degrees Virgo equals raw, unbuffered executor. He converts Trump's narratives into coercive policy. In simple terms, Trump supplies the illusion of sovereign power. Miller supplies the mechanism. That is why Miller speaks as if he is the law. V. Why this power is inherently unstable. Miller's power is not native. It is borrowed. It only works while Trump dominates the narrative. Trump intimidates institutions. Trump is perceived as unstoppable. When Trump weakens, Miller collapses faster. 6. Trump's decline, political plus physical, 2026. Astrologically and practically, Trump enters. Saturn pressure accountability. Neptune erosion myth fatigue. Pluto in Aquarius rejection of personalist rule. Manifestations. Reduced control over courts and agencies. Diminished ability to intimidate states and DOJ. Increased attention to health and stamina. Early lame duck dynamics. For Miller, his shield disappears. His threats stop landing. He becomes the visible extremist. 7. The break, February 20th, 26, Saturn. Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. This is the end of borrowed authority. Aries equals command, force. Saturn equals law, consequence. Neptune equals illusion. At 0 degrees Aries, authority must be real. This exactly squares Miller's 0 degrees Virgo Sunday. Translation. You claim authority. Prove it without Trump. He cannot. Results. Legal overreach stops working. Courts and agencies correct him. His rhetoric becomes evidence of abuse. This is the spellbreaker. 8. The reversal. Mercury retrograde, February 25th, 26. 5 days later, Mercury retrogrades. Critical because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. His power depends on language, legal framing, threats. During this retrograde, his words are re-examined. Prior statements resurface. Claims of immunity and sedition are contradicted. He is boxed in by the record. This is when he loses narrative control permanently. 9. March, June 2026, containment. Trump weakens further. Miller is sidelined quietly. Others speak for the law instead of him. His escalation worsens his position. He is visible, but no longer decisive. X, August 2026, eclipses the removal, ESP, August 28th, 26. Virgo, Pisces eclipses equals law versus delusion. For a 0 degrees Virgo sun, eclipses me. Identity removal, external decision, role termination, possible outcomes, forced resignation or sidelining, portfolio stripped, formal investigation or referral, public contradiction by DOJ or courts, scapegoating as Trump distances himself. 11. Pluto in Aquarius, 2024 to 2044, why there is no comeback. Pluto in Aquarius destroys unelected power brokers, exposes enforcement without legitimacy, restores institutional memory. Miller's style, coercive, absolutist, hierarchical. Aquarius says, if you are not accountable to the people, you are obsolete. There is no reinvention path. 12. 2027, the reckoning. With Pluto entrenched in Aquarius, investigations intensify. Records matter. Just following orders fails. For Miller, past actions reviewed. Legal exposure increases. Reputation calcifies negatively. His name becomes shorthand for overreach. 13. 2028. No return. By 2028, Trump's dominance is gone or irrelevant. The system rejects unelected enforcers. Transparency is rewarded. Miller may seek media or think tank roles. Remain loud online. But real power does not return. 14. Final bottom line. ICE agents do not have absolute immunity. Governors cannot be arrested for non-cooperation. State sovereignty is not sedition. Stephen Miller is misrepresenting the law in a way that invites violence and constitutional abuse. Astrologically and institutionally, Trump's myth gives Miller power. When Trump weakens, Miller collapses faster. February 20th, 26 breaks borrowed authority. February 25th, 26 reverses the record against him. August 2026 removes him from power. 2027 is the reckoning. 2028 offers no comeback. What has been done does not disappear. Under Pluto in Aquarius, records speak louder than threats.
There you go, guys. This dude is he is going to be gone. Okay, this is the demise. So don't worry. Just let him do whatever he's going to do, and that's going to be the end of him as the evidence accumulates against him, and that's what's going to happen. And because he's 0 degrees, he's really brash and loud. And with Taco, he thinks that he has this mandate that allows him to be such a jerk that he has been for all these years. And so this ends basically when Taco's power ends. That's basically what's going to happen. So follow these dates. And this is what's going to happen. You're welcome to recirculate that clip about the immunity, but here's the best analysis that I think you can find on this dude.